What's up? It's your boy Dre. One thing you find in sports, especially professional sports, is the time where after the game, you have this time where you call film study. You watch the film. And even before games, you have film where you study the opponent. You study about what's their strengths, what's their weaknesses. And depending on what type of player you are, this is like either one of the worst times where you're gonna fall asleep, or this is one of the best times where you're gonna really get to study. Because one thing about film, it also shows not just your opponent's weaknesses, but it shows your weaknesses. It don't also show your opponent's strengths, but it shows your strengths. And it gives you that particular moment to figure out how to better it or how to, cover up your weaknesses. Keeping that in mind, a lot of times, when taking it back to the scriptural context, the devil, he watches film on everything you do.
Now that's a
And
good
he
one.
sees what your weaknesses are, he sees what your strengths are. One thing I can guarantee you though, when the devil comes towards you, he's not gonna come for your strengths, he's gonna come for your weaknesses. Case in point, when you look at Jesus, when he was brought into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights of fasting, the devil came and talked to him specifically about what? About food, because he hadn't eaten in 40, he hadn't eaten in this time. So of course he's gonna come to Jesus and tempt him with food because that's what his weakness was at that time. But one thing that Jesus did, and also something for us to look forward to as well when we're faced with temptations on our weaknesses, Jesus hit him back with scripture. Devil said, here's something to eat. Jesus says, it's not by bread alone. Man doesn't live by bread alone, but, he lives by every word that proceed about the mouth of God. And that's the response that he gave to the devil, and the devil don't have nothing for him. A lot of times the devil watches film on us. He knows what your weaknesses are. He also knows what your strengths are. But also, we can attack the devil back with words, from the scripture, God's
That's
words, because that
lit.
will, put the devil to where he's in a situation where he ain't got nothing for that. Another thing about film, film gives you that opportunity to see what your weaknesses are. A lot of times we sit up there and, we don't like our weaknesses to be exposed. And it's not always a bad thing for your weakness to be exposed. Sometimes it's an opportunity for growth. You watch that film and see, oh, okay, every time you bring the ball to your left hand on the left side over there, you lose the ball. Well, guess what? Now you have time where you can go into the gym and work on that side. And, you can improve your weaknesses and make it to where it can become a strength. And, a lot of times we look at failures and things of that nature. We don't like, people to bring up our failures. We don't like people to bring up the things that we're bad at. But if you just see it as an opportunity to get better at it, a lot of times when you take an L in life, it's not just, a L, it's exposing a weakness to you. And that exposure of the weakness is not just to say, this is where you're bad at, this is where, you suck. You took an L. It's like, nah, use it as an opportunity. This is an opportunity for me to see what my weakness is and to be able to make it a strength. But that's just a little outlook on game film. And I hope you like this video. If you do, like, share, subscribe, and follow this platform page here. All right, y'all have a good one.